Alright, so it's been about a half an hour since I made my indigo bath. And on the top you'll find there's kind of like some foam, which is known as the flower or bloom. And you want to skim that off because if it touches your cloth, it's going to leave dark marks, and so that's not desirable. Okay, you can put this back in. It's good for your back, but we just don't want it while we're dyeing. So I'm going to put that over here. And I've been soaking my samples. And since this is a big salad bowl, and I do not want to get indigo in it, I've got this plastic bag. I'm just going to take these things out for now that have been soaking. There we go. Pour this water. These plants. Okay. So now I'm going to start dipping things in. So everything here is soaked, including my pole wrapped shibori. And with this, I'm just going to drop it in like this. And I'll move it around a little bit. The main thing is you don't want to put your sample in and act like you're doing a wash, like a hand wash. You really want to, by doing that, you create bubbles, which brings oxygen to the vat, and then your indigo is just sitting on the top, oxidized, and it's not working in your vat. Okay, so let's see what happens. I'm on my driveway, so this is the cool thing. Now, what's going to happen is this, that this, as it hits the air, is oxidizing. So under the surface, it looked yellow. Now it looked light green. Now it's turning darker green, and eventually will turn blue. While that's happening, I'm going to do the other end here, because I've got my other shibori. And how long does it take for your cloth to fully oxidize, the indigo to oxidize? I would say about 10 minutes. So that means you do not want to dip your cloth again for another 10 minutes. Now let's suppose that you just had, time before dinner to dip it once, and then maybe you didn't have any more time until the next morning. If your cloth has dried, then you're going to want to wet it with water again. But if it's still damp, you can continue to dip it. You don't have to wet it. It will be wet with the indigo. And the whole purpose of having your cloth wet is so that the dye takes better. So I'm being very gentle with my bath. Now I'm doing this by hand. Don't drop it, but you can move it around. That's fine. It's a good idea to move it around, in fact. And as I said, there's no value to keeping your cloth in really for, I wouldn't say longer than a minute. That to get it to be darker, you're going to have to dip multiple times. So, now when I pull this out, I don't want it to be dripping, and this will sound kind of strange. I'm going to kind of squeeze a bit under. Okay, out it comes. It looks yellowish. And you can see it really is like magic. I'll put this over here for now. All right, we dipped our first indigo. Pretty magical, isn't it? As we saw the yellow, and now this is starting to turn fully blue. And that's as it's oxidizing. I'll show you when you have something that's clamped. Yes, indeed, the clamps go right in here. And you do want to be careful. You certainly don't want the clamps to come off or move around. So handle your cloth carefully. Yes, I don't want it to drip into that, so I'm just going to move it over here. Okay, I got 3 more to go.